So, I got this idea, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I gotta do an intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of that show that will not be named. I'm host Brian, or Game Prince, whatever you prefer. And today, essentially, I want to tell you guys a little about, some ideas for some books I'm working on. I did a picture book. For the first time ever, I did a picture book. Now, I say a picture book and not a kid's book, like I was saying when I initially finished it, because I do not know if it is for kids. I mean, it definitely is. The only thing that would make it even remotely questionable is like there's a picture of like two skulls in it, which I don't. Billy and Mandy had fucking skulls in it. Look at that show. Um, but yeah, I did a picture book, so I'm currently trying to get that published. That's on the roster for what's coming out. And I figured I'd try to write a light novel. Now, the idea for the light novel, I wanted to run it by you guys because this channel's my venting channel, my outlet. So I'm going to tell you guys this idea for this light novel that I started writing. I'm not sure if I'll ever finish it, but if you guys find it interesting, if you like it, let me know. It is called Death Fairy. Remember how the Steins Gate logo looks, where it's like Steins semicolon gate? That's how the thing for mine looks. It's Death semicolon Fairy, but it's the old type of fairy, like Faerie. And essentially, what it's about is a group of hoodlums, a group of. They're not just half Japanese, half American, but they're half, it's Italian, African American, everybody. They're just a group of kids. The main group is half American, half Japanese, though. And the of the whole point of the book is that they have a gang in New York that is just completely a ripoff of the Yakuza. They call themselves the Yakuzo, though. Basically, the novel opens up with a letter being sent to like a new recruit. It basically lists what they are, what their values are, what their rules are, how the hierarchy works, just so you have like an introduction to the Yakuzo gang. And essentially the entire story is them discovering the existence of this occult society in Manhattan, because the whole book takes place in Manhattan, just all over the island. And these young people in the Yakuza basically infiltrate. I guess infiltrate's a strong word. They basically find out about a shipment that's being done by this occult society. This occult society is known as the Order of the Chimera. And it's a little bit like urban, like, I guess urban meets like fantasy occult type shit. But essentially what happens is this occult society, the Order of the Chimera, has a lot of wealthy members, and a lot of their wealth and their power and all this shit is due to these artifacts that they got. And these artifacts, I numbered them, there's 4 of them. And essentially what happens is one day the Order of the Chimera are shipping a bunch of them out of a secret storage location in the Museum of Natural History. And the Yakuza end up finding out about the organization. They end up knocking over the truck. They don't know that it belongs to the society. They're just committing like a robbery because they think it's something valuable. And what they end up discovering are these 4 items that end up having supernatural properties. One of them is a human rib that's like very pearly white, and holding on to it gives the person who's holding it a lot of creativity and a lot of intelligence, just making them very fierce. There's one that's a sword. It's a silver rapier with a hilt that's covered in blue diamonds, small blue diamonds. And anyone who is pierced or cut with it has their wounds healed if they're hurt, and if they're dead, if they're pierced with it, it revives them, brings them back to life, and heals their wounds. Another one is an amulet. The first one actually that's introduced is a purple amulet on a golden chain. Basically, anyone who wears it just gets supernaturally fantastic luck and wealth. And the last item was a Venetian masquerade mask that anyone who wears it can basically look like anybody. All they need to do is think about it, and they can change the way that they appear. They can't shapeshift. They can only look like other people, other humans. But essentially, the Yakuzo get their hands on these items. Sorry for all the coughing. My throat is very terrible atmosphere in here this morning. But yeah, essentially the entire book is them, I guess you could say, battling and going back and forth with the Order of the Chimera, because the Order of Chimera is trying to get their shit back so they could go back to ruling from the shadows. It's not even like either's like super evil. It's more like just like a conflict of interests, I guess, because the Order of the Chimera is using the artifacts, and that's what they're called. They're just called like the artifacts. They don't have specific names like the Amulet of Amonkhet or the Rib of Adam or something like that. It's literally called like artifact number 44, artifact number 5, artifact number 68, artifact number 3. Those are their names, and that's how they're referred to like throughout the book. But yeah, and that's what I wrote so far. I gotta get down to the nitty gritty, the actual story, the characters. I did write the characters. I got some backgrounds. Now I need to work on the Order of the Chimera characters. They're gonna be a little more shadowy than the Yakuzo, just because the Yakuzo are more like in your face. They're out there. They're the main focus of the whole thing. But the whole series is basically just a conflict of interest between them and these magical items that should not exist, but do, and all the chaos that they cause in modern day Manhattan. So yeah, that's an idea for a new light novel that I'm working on. Probably going to tackle that more once I get any feedback, if I get any feedback on my picture book. Sent out about 15 queries to literary agents last week. Out of the 15, I think 5 were like, nah, sorry, can't do it. Which, it's going to happen. It's always going to happen. Well, not always, at some point. Eventually we'll strike gold. But anyways, yeah, just want to get your guys' opinion on that. What do you think of that? Oh, and the whole reason it was, the series was if it ends up becoming a series, I don't fucking know. The whole reason that I called the book Death Fairy was because the people in the Order of Chimera believe that remember the sword that could bring people back to life if it cuts them, and it can regenerate their wounds and heal them. That essentially, they believe the Order of the Chimera people believe that sword belonged to a fairy of like death or something like that, who basically was sick of being a fairy of death and wanted to craft a weapon that would save lives rather than take them. So it's kind of like a mix, like it's a fairy but it's a Grim Reaper type thing, like a combination of mythologies, I guess, combination of concepts. And essentially that's there's speculation as to how all of the artifacts were created. Like, obviously the amulet is from probably Egypt, probably belonged to a god or a pharaoh or something like that. The rib is obviously Adam's rib from Adam and Eve. But then if that's the case, how did Eve come into existence? Maybe the rib will become Eve. I don't know. This is the joy of writing. You just come up with the shit as you go along, I guess. At least that's what I do. I find it's more spontaneous and interesting that way. But yeah, all the artifacts have origins. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. So yeah, Death Fairies. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? What should I change? What do you think I should include? So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I'll see you guys on the flip.